Welcome back to EAFC Gameplay Analysis. This is where I break down my gameplay as a top 200 professional EAFC coach step by step and give you the proper decision making, diving into my brain and analyzing every step of the way, and not just broken mechanics that you're going to try to replicate and then everybody knows and all you're doing is seeing Travella after Travella after Travella. Just like this goal, that's a real goal. And why? Well, here's the idea. If I take this spot here, I can pass it to either Chukwuemeka or I can pass it to Dewey. However, if I pass it to Dewey, then I can pull VVD towards me and open up space wide. If I pass it wide, I can potentially do the opposite. However, if I pass it wide, that allows for this player to come in much easier than the wing on the width. So I'm going to pass it inward, and that's going to pull him slightly down, and then we're going to get that lane, and then that's how we finish. This session is going to be all about changing tactics and trying new formations against our opponent where we already have them preset. So if this video gets 500 likes, we'll do the custom tactics for all the videos, just like in this scenario here. If I break this down and I show you, this is me explaining to you, I have two ways I can really play this ball. I can play either short or far. If I play it far, it's going to drag the center back to me. If I play it short, it's going to drag him relatively in this location, right? So I play it short, so then it can free up that space right behind him, and that allows for an open shot right down the edge. And I also still have the opening here. So by just making that initial pass to the central, it gave me space to get that goal. That's what we're going to be breaking down in this game. In this session is going to be mostly about tactics, formations, and changing formations. So many players I know right now are not changing formations. They're playing with the balanced formation almost the entire game. And let me tell you, that is the worst thing you can possibly do. So we're going to step by through that. I am going to break down my defensive techniques as well and kind of give you guys some pointers and tips on just getting through that next stage. So let's go ahead and get right on into it as we improve here. So you can see this. I've been doing this one a lot. I'm not going to try to stop it too much, but we're going to step through these concepts when I see a big concept. But you see this double R1. I'm doing this a lot whenever I see runs going in behind. It's been very, very effective to slow this down. Right now, I'm in a press formation, so I am playing high speed, high intensity. That's the idea. I'm attacking you, they're attacking me, and we're playing like I'm playing 4 forward, 6 back kind of. 4 forward, 6 back, and I'm just going at them with a counter attack. That is supposed to have open space in the midfield and create shorter opportunities for both of us, essentially. So it's going to create more chances in game. I like more chances early on. As you can see, we already took an early lead. But then later on, we're going to be rotating into something else, especially as the game develops into further positions. But right here, just trying to do a speed boost. I hate that the speed boost is that effective, but it is what it is, right? So there's a back tackle step. So if you guys want to get better at defense, this is what I call my swarm technique. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to have to use multiplayer switching, which is another technique. MPS, basically meaning that you're going to be switching from here to here to here to here to here to here in a matter of 1-2 seconds. The best players in the world do this the best. This is what separates everybody. Those moments that you feel you're just clustered, it's because of what I call multiplayer switching. And then the swarm technique is being able to use R1 and like push them into a position. So you're using R1 and you're switching back and forth. And I'll explain this here. So right now we're kind of on the byline, right, or on the sideline here. And so essentially there's a space there. So now what you see is I'm using R1 and I've switched here. And so now it looks like I'm going to apply pressure. I already have a player here. If he rips through here, maybe he hits that. That's a tough spot. So I'm going to act like I'm going to fake the front position, his front step. So most players are thinking I'm going to probably step like this into space. This is where I like to take risks. I like to take risks in the midfield a little bit further because I have a lot of space to readjust my back line. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to attack the back foot here. And so you can see I come around the back foot, and I'm also R1 here as well. And then I'm defending the pass. So now I've rotated, and then I get the tackle. So essentially I was defending with all 3 players in the same spot, analyzing those little tiny windows to create that space, and that gets the ball right up to the get your gameplay analyzed by me on a private 1v1 call. link in description, medify.gg. Top, and our animation's close. And I'm just, oh man, I almost get it. And you can see the, you can see this. I went for the green time, but the 4-star weak foot at this stage of the game is really hard to get a goal on. Honestly, I'm surprised he didn't expect me to actually like lay this off. I probably could have just like player locked and held the play here, or creative run and held and then attacked this, because he's super committal. I didn't think he was going to commit that hard. I thought he was going to pull off on Van Dijk, and so then you just have to make an adjustment when that final decision's made. At this level, almost every decision's made in the last half second. So this is a mistake here. As you can see, this is me trying to use double R1. So what I'm trying to use is, I meant to do this, but basically if you use double R1, it's going to go to the two closest players off ball. So if I was here, it would have locked here and it'll have locked the right way. If the ball was in transit from here to here, then I can pull here and I can pull here. However, I was in the wrong spot. It changes that out, and that's where that mistake is. But instantaneously, we go and we recover and we recognize that. So that's another topic I want to talk about, guys. Is one of the biggest things is adjusting. Adjusting your gameplay is more crucial than being correct every single time. So the faster the gameplay is, the more mistakes you're going to make. Okay, the slower the gameplay is, the more analytical you have to be. And so there has to be a balance in between both. You have to know how to play quick, but also right to an extent. However, there's moments where your opponent's going to fake you, or they're going to do this or that, or you will make a mistake. Mistakes are inevitable. It's going to happen, right? It's going to happen. So when that happens, you have to make an adjustment and then be able to read and recognize those spaces. Could he have maybe waited half a second, thrown it over the top? Sure. But he makes a mistake because we're moving fast. So essentially, I make the mistake, I let go, instantaneously retreat, apply pressure to the play. Don't let him think quickly, and that's how I recover that position. So it's not always about playing, slow and being correct every single time. It's about being fast and making fast decisions. And that's what this formation's about. That's why I'm trying to talk about this. Is this formation is all about playing fast and playing quick and getting information to you really quickly, rather than seeing everything instantaneously. I think I have pretty good vision almost majority of the time. And so the faster I can play, when I can play fast, which now I'm older now, so I'm 31, guys. 31. Now that I'm older, it's harder for me to like play fast all the time. So I go through these spurts of playing at my highest level, and then I kind of drown down into like playing slower. And so you have to be able to play fast in order to have these type of movements. So this formation may not be free if you don't like speed, but I recommend learning speed. So like right here's an example. I see this position here. I play here. Did I make the correct pass? Yes, to the right person. I made the correct play, improper timing, right? And so if you look at him, he just sits here. However, my timing, he might even be offside anyway, so it doesn't even matter, right? So I needed to hold on to that ball, but playing quick essentially gave him an opportunity at goal, and I ended up making space. So what I'm trying to show you as well is it creates negative chances to you too. So just by playing quick, you're going to make mistakes, but you're also going to get opportunities. And that's what I want to see early. So many players, they like to drown me, man. They drown me because I'm a very passive defender, and they just try to drown you out. Just constantly drown you as an attacker. They'll hold possession 60, 70, 80%. So what I try to do nowadays is I try to negate that 70% possession. I try to get a lot of early chances. I like to try to get goals early, and then we play more of a defensive game. As we get into another space here, we're going to pause. We're going to try to hit that. And so I was expecting I'll step you through my thought here. So we get into this position, and actually before we do that, this is kind of an example on RNG. So we tackle step right here. So this is an example. So we're down. And so if you look, my adjustment's a little bit off. He made a mistake mechanically. So my mechanics weren't great. His were bad. But the little boost right there, and then we're just going to target and attack this position. Just get him on a habit. This is what I call a habit. And this is what happens, guys. You should be recognizing habits at the highest level. So what happens is a lot of habits are they're going to step towards you versus go backwards. In this scenario, he 1000% needs to go back. So when you play fast as well, you're going to create this mistake, that slight movement forward, and that allows that space in behind. Now, this is what needs to be more cheeky. I needed to hit like a player lock, and then fake and then take the edge, right? I needed to create some sort of cheekiness. My angle directly to him is a little bit, I'm not going direct. So I've got space out wide. So I don't like my pure angle because he's coming in at like a pursuit angle. And so I'm not in my favorite spot personally because of it's a 2-on-2. So it's really like a 1-on-1. So I need to really create a chance of Chukwuemeka. I'm not expecting him to hard set and just run me down with R1. I'm not expecting him to hard set that position. What I'm trying to do is beat this position here, and I'm going to try to play all the way down to the edge and then play this over. If I see an opportunity to shoot, I will rip that shot, and that's the idea. And so I think I see that movement. I think I see the opportunity, and then I try to go for it. And also VVD is able to get in front of me, so it essentially negated my opportunity to make this pass. Now, what I could have done potentially in this scenario is the nutmeg skill to go fake here and then pass here, right? However, that's ideal, but in this speed of play and the movement and the sprint speed here, I need to essentially kill it. I needed to kill it almost there, or I need to kill it right now. But the problem is my player's moving so far forward, I might not get the proper animation to do that. And so that's why we ended up taking a chance. And I missed the green time again. So that's 2 green opportunities plus a goal that we have. So I've had 3 really good chances so far going into 30 minutes into the match. So you see, this is my makeshift formation, very fast, very intense. And this is a mistake that I gave him. So typically what you're going to see with my defensive shape is, yes, this is pretty close to exactly what I like. So I like the play to go wide. So I create this sort of pyramid as a defense. And so I don't like the ball going in here. But if the ball goes into this space, ultimately, you're going to lose the ball relatively quickly. If you can get into this space and hold on to it for 2-3 seconds, that's usually like the detriment to a really strong defender. So I play it wide. I keep it wide. Now, this is an example is Renard doesn't have anybody to defend, so I can play this a little bit aggressive and then try to cut this pass lane out. So it looks like I'm going to cut here. So I'm giving him a fake. So I'm kind of trying to fake down and then cut back. And so you can see that he wasn't ready to do that. He was actually sending a run, which he's trying to send this run. So he was trying to send the run into that space, and he makes that mistake by seeing that then Henry's open, and he makes the mistake. So we both made mistakes significantly. I overstepped a position, and he made a bad pass. But this is a fast gameplay. This is I think a rank 1 player. So this isn't like your average schmo that I'm playing that, oh, John, we could see that. That was an easy play. It's fast. This movement is super quick, and the decision making is really quick too. So he tries to step in there, and boom, instantaneously we're on this attack and approach this position. So right here, boom, you can see how he tries to rip that pass. That's a dangerous pass. But like I said, you need 2 or 3 seconds to defend me, and he's offside anyway. But you need 2 or 3 seconds to get past me in that space, and you have to be shifty. Very rarely are you going to be able to actually traditionally beat me by pace. So if you can see this, I'm even doing, that's actually a makeshift defense, and he gets through here. So right here, you can see this. I'm trying to pull offside here. So that's, I don't know how he's not offside with this Henry card just is ridiculously stays onside. I really don't know how this, if I just step it forward. He's off. He hasn't played the ball yet. I mean, he's 100% off. That is, oh yeah. I thought he beat me, man. I thought he beat me. Anyways, I thought I was about to complain about the game. I'm like, guys, that's rare. That's rare. I shouldn't complain about the game. But okay, so like right here, I see an opportunity. This is why I take this chance. I read this animation. I think he's going to get it. And then he just pauses and he steps off. I don't know why Mbappe didn't step off, so the animation rotated. I want to show you guys something. This is what I call break points. Break points is a change of possession, and within like the first 3 seconds until there's a safe opportunity, does the break point clear. And what I mean by that is right now, the second I leave this ball, this is a break point. So does he have perfect possession? If he plays it quick and plays it here, I win this ball. If he plays it quick and plays it here, that's dangerous because he's 100% 180 rotation. So he has to rotate the play in order to get that ball into that space, right? So that's dangerous as well. So what I try to do is I try to run these players, and then I'm going to step inside. This is my cam. This is my right cam, or my right cam in the 4-2-2-2, and I drag this guy down, okay? That's what I'm doing in this scenario. And guys, if you haven't, and you guys would like, you guys need to check out our, let's see, here we go. Basically, we have an AI that helps you guys trade, makes decisions every single day. And this one, I think, has almost 400 open trades, telling you when to buy, when to sell, and helping you guys make coins constantly. And we are getting ready for FC 26. So check that out. It's only £6. And guys, if you want to support me as a creator, go and get the AI, because I am a founder in the company. So we are trading. And if you don't know, I was a top trader as well. So if you guys need help there, but you can see that movement rotating inside, incisive. And if you guys see anything below, you guys can read all of that type of stuff. So FCalert and then metafy.gg, you guys can find that information. So, but okay, so this is what I love about this formation. This is really like the root of one of the reasons why I want to talk about this technique. So this formation allows for a lot of open field space. As you can see, this is what I wanted from this. And this creates usually a lot of chances. I've got great numbers here, 3, 4 on 4. I should have ripped this out wide. Do I get there? And I don't. I was trying to go for the glory shot, and we end up winning that ball. And I rotate, and it just gets jammy as heck over here. And I still almost get there, and then I try to green. And if you look at this, this is the example of like high-level mechanics versus high-level mechanics. And this is just such a great example. Is I lose the ball in that scenario, but I stay on pressing him. He makes a small mistake trying to make a pass up, and then he's going to tackle step this, but then I'm trying to ball roll scoop. So I ball roll away, which throws the VVD's balance off before he goes in for a shoulder barge, and then I ball roll scoop into his space, and then I actually click triangle, which is, you may think, the worst thing you can do, but my Checo Emeka, my boy, he's got incisive pass plus. So it's the best RNG he can possibly make with an open run going in there. So then it gives me a little bit of a passing lane, but then he tackle steps and barges, which then throws the ball off. And then I'm trying to basically do a ball cut, and I almost hit it. And then he gets a tackle step, I get negated. And then he avoids, he cancels his pass this way and rotates this. If you really look at this closely, the animation shows that when Gabriel's making this pass, look at this. He's about to open up this way, and then he animates out to make that pass. So he had to adjust. He had to late adjust to make that play, and then we're right back onto the counter, which he throws wide, and then there's the rotation. And I've never even seen this animation in my life. But this is high-level mechanics. So if you're like stuck and you're not getting to elite, you still have to know mechanics. As you can see, he oversteps the back side of me, which if there's one complaint I can say from like RNG variables is that you shouldn't be able to just instantaneously tackle this ball when I am rotating. Now, the reason why I lose the ball is because I am rotating where he is essentially tackling. And that's why that creates a collision. And I can explain RNG, but I don't know what that is, man. I don't know. What was this? Look at this pass. What am I witnessing here? A back heel on the ground? I didn't even know that was, I didn't know there was even an animation. That's probably one of the most rare animations in EAFC. I think that probably is. And so then that ends up opening. And then I hate that as well. I think that if you're on defense and you just There needs to be some sort of like control mechanism so when you tackle, you don't just boot the ball away. And so we get an open play. I'm going to try to get Mbappe in there. And so this, I'm actually doing a, this time I was doing a pass. I tried to pass this earlier and it didn't, my inputs didn't go. So I should have had a goal on this. And so what I was trying to do, it showed square and X, but I'm almost positive I did the nutmeg this way and then this way. And I actually remember filming this. I think I did the nutmeg skill. There's no reason for me to do that ball cut or that fake shot. And I was really mad at that. And I think I did the ball cut and then I did a standard X or triangle pass and it didn't input. Maybe I'm crazy, but I have to go off of this. So I potentially made that mistake. And so when you go back so many times, you end up realizing it's typically you. So it's probably me. So now at halftime, guys, this is where like we really get into the nitty gritty. This is where you really start thinking about stuff. And this is really like where we want to dive in on like today's session essentially. So basically, when we go into these stats, what I'm looking at is I'm looking at his shots and his expectancy. Typically, when you're playing solid defense, that means that your shots are underneath, like there's not very many. One, the less, the better. But his expected goal ratio is really low. So what that means is if you take, 10 shots out of 10, if you take 10 shots and your goal expectancy is, 10 goals, that means there's a 1 goal, 1-to-1 ratio. What this essentially means is that he has a 20% ratio of shot. This is something that I'm looking at when I'm thinking about my defense and if the way I'm playing matches and balances the play. Now, so that's one thing. Okay, so defensively, when we're in this open space, we're doing great. However, then I look at possession, and this is where then I take in another factor. Okay, I'm winning the game. My press formation is still not winning me the ball back significantly because I'm giving the ball up relatively the same. So somehow he's at 6 and I'm at 8, and that has created 20% more possession for him. That means that we are going back and forth so many times, but what I'm seeing is I'm not seeing outcomes. So like I've had 4 shots with the 1 goal expectancy ratio, 1.1. So I'm at like a 0.26 ratio. So I'm slightly higher than his with a goal. But 40% to 60, that means I'm most likely making mistakes somewhere. And then you can see it in your numbers. I'm dribbling at him too much. So that means that I'm not playing passive enough in those good scenarios. And so what I believe is happening is a lot of my shots in all of the opportunities I have, they're not showing up in the stat sheet. So understand that I had like 2 or 3 opportunities and, or I had a few opportunities that were open space and they just went to nothing. Like the last one, we did a fake shot cut. So that could have been like a 5 plus, even a half chance. So that could, so basically we're winning this game significantly, in my opinion, and he missed 2 open netters, right? So, I mean, it's pretty balanced to a degree, but in the numbers, it's showing me as victorious. But these dribble mechanics are showing a big difference. I like my passing to be about 86 to 90. 90 is usually when I'm making high risk scenarios and I'm converting everything. Anything below 85 is usually where I don't like to be because that means I'm not converting enough. But anything over like 92, 93, usually that means I'm not making the right risk. I'm not taking enough chance. Everybody always wants a ton of possession. They always want super high pass rate and super high dribble rate. That's not always the chance. You really want to have like 10% risk whenever you're attacking. You don't necessarily like on both because you should be taking key opportunities with maybe a potential pass through. For instance, when that player, when the VVD was wide open, or when Due ended up being offside, I was trying to take a chance at that because he was a wide open run, 2-on-3, right? Wide open, cutting the edge. You need to take chances. but not at your own, like at your own risk. So what you'll see me do is you'll see me probably try to play more passive in the second half. And I believe there's an early goal. And it's against me. And this is me. I'm trying to balance, like, okay, I'm up in this game. He has 60% possession. I'm trying to think, okay, do I need to change my formation, or should I switch to a defensive formation given that I'm in the lead? And so I was kind of double taking. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to just send a fullback through and try to get an extra number, because I think I can get one more on this guy. Ends up, my fullback exposes the play, and so then I'm in a counter, so I instantaneously find the position properly, and so then I'm trying to balance, and he just finds that little angle for half a second, and then does a very nice dribble away. Which, to be honest, like, it's I didn't realize it was FUTalert, but like, going against the goalkeepers right now is like not like, I guess a week ago was even harder. So there's a mistake. And so this is an example right here of a scenario. So if we go into, yeah, so just a little bit forward here. So he scores here and then right here. So this is a high press position. And I think I rotate my formation right after this. Oh yeah, so that's a high press with a recovery position. So I believe I change it right now. If I haven't already, or I get one more possession, I basically want to rotate out of this. And see, I don't like these chances. I don't like these chances at all. And I'm pretty sure that he scores another one before me again. Yeah, so I have changed my formation now. And so now we're playing in a different rotation. So if we go back here, I just want to make sure you guys see when I change the formation. I believe is right after the goal, most likely. So right here, yeah, so right here, I just missed it. We changed the formation into my defensive 4-2-3-1. So when we change into this 4-2-3-1, ultimately what's happening is I'm going into like a playmaker attack. So this is playmaker, this is playmaker, this is playmaker, and advance forward. That's all it is. And the reason why is because these cams can drop down, and then I'm into that like open space now. So that's what I'm trying to do. And take a little bit risk. So that's where that risk comes in. But he's pretty good, man. This is a pretty good player. He's got great vision. Just if I make one little mistake, left, right, up, and down, it can really haunt you. I'm just going for the deep ball there, and it got negated. And then we go right here. Tackle step. We're going to swarm. That's the swarm technique. Just trying to rip that ball forward. And sometimes it can come back on you. That double R1 here is really important when we talk about defense. So here's something a lot of players won't do, is they won't pull that double R1 right here. That grabs it and makes it really tight and really hard. It's just very small. It's a very faint deal, but like when you talk about animation cancels, it cancels the animation of the defender and gives you a better advantage. So that Davies, I'm trying to get on the inside. I'm just trying to stay on the inside. And man, dude, this VVD's giving me some grief. But what I do know is the VVD does not have great stamina. 88 is not great compared to my defenders. And so what I do know is that if I can keep it even close, I can win late stage because of how much my team's going to overwhelm him when it comes to open space later on in the game, especially if I'm Mbappe here. So, but there's the drop, and then here's our gambit. We're going to drive down. I'm going to try to be cheeky there, and so I was, and he beats that space. But here's the little bit trick. But this is a really good play. He plays this out and then goes right into this space, and he gets a nice dribble touch and rips. So this is a fantastic goal. This is one of the hardest. This is one of the hardest ways to actually beat me, is beating me in my gambit. And what I mean by that is I'm taking a little risk. So I've been trying to practice being a little bit more aggressive. And so typically my position is going to go right here, and I'm going to defend that. And then we're going to pinch over here. That's typically the way I'm going to play. So that would eliminate that space that we just saw. However, what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to essentially take a little bit of a risk there, because I thought he was going to pass it there. I'm faking that movement to then try to win the ball here. And he gets out, and so that creates a gap, right, window in that space that allows this movement. And then I'm trying to get I thought he was actually going to try to dribble this way. I thought he was going to try to cut back. So I hold on to R1 a little bit longer, and I was going to try to get Vieira right into this lane, and it's just a little too late. And so then I was trying to break the animation from him cutting back, and you can see I tried to tackle step because I recognized the shot. So I was literally microsecond behind him, but that's the game. So I opened up, and he converted. So it's a fantastic goal by him. One of the better goals that I would say in like actual tactical analysis to beat me. But this is where my tactics come through really, really well. So basically, once we get into, actually, if we go and we show you the goal, and okay, so he tackles me right off. I try to get through him, and then he's on the breakaway here. Defensive shape. We're going to try to hold the position. We're just trying to barge him a little bit, try to fake on the outside. So he does a great animation, cut right back. So again, I'm okay with this. I typically don't play like this. So what I mean by that is this is a mind game. I'm doing this movement on purpose, but I don't usually do it. Typically, I'm playing more passive here, and I'm going to take the interior, and I'm going to shift, and I'm going to force this wide. What I've noticed is players just hold on to this ball forever, and it's just really annoying. So what I was trying to do is actually I was trying to make him think I was going to take the early edge and then cut the back, but he was trying to fake me going backwards to go forwards. So he was doing something different, but it worked out for him. So I was trying to fake this way to go back, and he was trying to fake back to go forward. But we both faked early, and it ends up being in his favor on the symmetry, if that makes sense. And so again, then we step down with Hullet, which then I step with Renard to replace that position, and that's how we end up balancing that structure. So I'm trying new things. If you've been watching my content, I've been trying tons of new things. But now my formation and structure is very dominant on the attacking run. So this is what that Playmakers does, which I love so much. So here we go. We're just trying to create space. Now you can see I'm holding possession a little bit longer, and I make a bad pass. So this is a huge opportunity I had, and there's no purpose for me to give the ball up like that. But if you look at this, now we're trying to play a little bit longer in these spaces, trying to be a little bit more critical. And then I get to this position, and I make a mistake. It was so stupid, man. It's so early. It's so bad. It's so bad. But when you haven't played, man, and you suffered bronchitis and you couldn't even talk, you're coming back. This is what you come back to. But he tries that angle. And so forcing that wide angle again. And so now we're trying to think about, I was thinking, okay, I like the formation. We're going to stick with this for now. Again, we are in a 4-2-3-1. Actually, sorry. I didn't like the formation because of the run, and I end up switching here. Sorry. I think what I was realizing is that Hullet movement is vital. I really needed that CDM to move out defensively, but then if I have both there, I can manage it a little bit more from the 4-5-1. However, Chukwuemeka drops that center mid, which is absolutely fantastic. And then now we're going to be sending a bunch of runs. We're going to play a little bit smarter, a little bit smoother. And so now we got huge opportunities here. And then instantaneously, we get a goal. And so that was by switching and rotating and changing everything and then sending all of it forward. And if we go back to the actual goal scoring moment and we look down here at the what's it called? The thingy, the radar, we have a defender up top. We have got two center backs and our fullbacks back as well. And then I have a central CDM to cut out the central attack pass. So most likely he's going to break. If he breaks, he's going to go wide right, which Dumfries is pretty good about getting back there anyways, without pulling him all the way forward. So it's a structured attack with high level aggression. It can be susceptible to some formations, but not all. Like a 4-1-2-1-2 is really weird against it. So he's animation. So I'm trying to get him actually to bite into that space this time. And that's exactly what we wanted. And that's why we switched our formation. So instead of biting, so again, I don't like to press this. I'm pressing it. I'm testing this new. And so he does a great animation, but now he's so far away that he can't make that initial pass in. So if you look, I'm actually trying to think he's trying to hit that. And so then I see he's not going to hit that. So now my angle is actually to cut out this pass and force him interior. So that's exactly what we want to do. And that's why I'm super in sync with him. And I'm going to try to cut back if I can. And he ends up making a bad pass due to time. And he tackle steps through me, of course, because that's just how the game is. And then he has to dribble in a circle and he can't get the ball loose. But that's the idea. And then I make a bad touch. Of course, it's Dumfries right there. And then he goes for another one on that animation position, or that nice shooting angle. So a couple things here, and then steps through. Can we win this? There's that shift out wide. 1, 2. Now we're rotating. And I barely get that one through. Patience. We're going to have to be patient here. And so now you can see I'm being smarter and more decisive, and almost rip that one through. So now we're playing a little bit slower. We're being a little bit more methodical. And that's kind of the key to this moment right now. And so now we've just switched into a 4-3 or a 5. We're in the 4-5-1 now, essentially. And so there's the rotation. Now we're trying to play that position. He's pretty good, man. He's pretty good, but we're better, right? This is where he's being cheeky. And so I step away, and then I try to eliminate this pass. He dribbles into this position. This is where I just need to cut back, and he does a great cut. He does a really good cut. But then we close this lane down. He needed one more. But you have to understand, all this stuff is happening so fast, because let me tell you, it is not easy to get me to break down like that. It's really not easy to get me off my heels with a quick step Pacho. It's really not easy. So props to his movement there. And so now we're step. And so now he's going to try to bulldoze me with Giorquez, it looks like. I don't have a passing lane. There we go. We get the passing lane. Pull it wide. There's the fake one. Rotate all the way. And there it is. We're going to cut inside, pull the center back. And we're just trying to pull the center back there. So right before we get into this space, we'll go back and watch this. We'll probably fizzle out. But what I'm trying to do right here, guys, is low-level players, what they'll do is they'll actually kill the momentum here, and then I'll just lay the ball off. And so instead of him, so you see how he takes that lane? I should have committed a little bit further because I have a lot of space here, and it probably would have finished here. So I should have done that and then attacked that space. But he switches off, and then I hit it right when he lets go. But dude, his VVD just doesn't move, and he gets a great animation to hold that down that outside lane. And we get the angle right into the box. One more chance. And I was expecting him to move the keeper here, and so I was going near post. And that's just a timing thing where if he moves it, I win it. If he doesn't, he wins. And I thought he was going to move it, but there's the little couple fake movements. There's the wing again. I need to drop that back. So you can see now I'm already back with that center back. I'm already there, and I'm just going to clear that out because I recognized it. So instantly I see that I accidentally sent my fullback forward, and I needed to replace that position. And so we go over to the center back and drive that over there. And if you don't notice, I swapped Pacho and Renard mid-game in the 4-5-1 because I like to be more attacking with Dumfries in the 4-5-1. But anyways, then we throw in a really nice Matuidi, and then Musiala has better defensive stats. And so we put him in, and he has better, I think, defensive stats and AI. So we drop in Musiala. And then we play it from this way. Now we're going to drive into the center, drive that space down. There we go. And me personally, guys, 80th minute, I don't like to, what's it called? I don't like to sit back. I don't like draws. I like to go for W's because I think that's the way to win. That's really the way to play. And so we're just patience here, getting space out. There's the dribble. Looks like we're going to commit. We're going to commit, and we just get that space and we go. And so it's a slicing run from Musiala. And so what he's probably expecting me to do is take this lane. And so then I shift on him, and then he sees Mbappe here, which Due is way behind. And so he closes down the central position, and I dribble at him to dribble to out. So I do that on purpose to get him to commit, to create that space. And this is where your mechanics make so much of a difference, because technically, I might have been able to hit this pass if he steps this way, or if he just misses it. He just misses it. he may have been able to block me. But if he stepped that way, I needed to rip near post. And so that's where, like, you play like a kid like Anders, he might actually be able to clutch that moment out. But those moments happen to every player. The difference at like the highest level sometimes is really closing, making those, like, finishing the play, right? And like actually finishing the play, essentially. There's the creative run. We're gonna try to do the same thing. There's the fake. Oh my gosh, and I miss. Did I really miss this? I don't think I missed. I think I got a great dribble. So look at the fake. Oh, the fake cut's great. And then I don't know about y'all, but I don't know if I really missed this shot. Or where am I aiming? I'm aiming like that. There's no way I'm aiming that way. There's no way. I just don't feel it. But look, it says I'm aiming like that. So given the point of impact, that means I'm aiming like this, which if I extend it goes this way. So it makes a miss. And so that's why it animates to the keeper. So it counts as a miss, as essentially a red shot. And that's why we missed that opportunity. Man, that's unfortunate. And so now he's going to try to basically speed boost me on the wedge, on the edge here. And so we're pretty aggressive with that dumb freeze. And so there he is again. Then we turn away. So if you guys need help getting better at defending speed boost players, this is a quick tutorial. But basically, right when you get into this position, there's only one point where he's really effective, and that's going to be exactly directly straight of his body motion. So right now it's this way, and now it's this way. So if you can get into that space, all you have to do is just wait. And so if you look, I'm actually going backwards versus forward, and that's how you win the ball. So then we take that away from all that RNG buildup, change of possession. And so now I have to try to find a passing lane. And so we're going to fake. And there was this space barely off his position. And there's the creative incisive, and he wins that, but we win that. And then we get space. That Captivia wins it. And then it goes down. It pretty much goes down to the last second. There he is again. He's trying to wiggle that space, but we win that position. And we get him on the fake. Dude, I'm telling you, dude, this guy's RNG was off the charts. Pretty sure he had I should not have made that pass with Mbappe. I'm pretty sure he had the what's it called, the server. But guys, if you guys need help, check and you guys want my coaching, if you want me to help you personally, check out medify.gg below. That's where you can book me for an hour and get tips just like this, personalized for you to make you a top 200 player too. Until next time, guys, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Deuces.